Figure out. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. Good morning. How's everyone? How are you doing? Yeah. So that's what I'm ready for a busy week and a busy weekend. I'll be on a busy day. For Saturday. It was quieter than I expected. Sunday was very quiet, but I was scared of the rain. But I figure everybody's just saving up their boat gas for this weekend. I'm sure it'll be a wild time. This past weekend. I love post hurricane weather.
Different bottles, you know, you don't have to answer the,
I think I got 6 different bottles.
wow.
What really surprised everyone? I love all of them. Pretty much. Yeah.
So I would always go to you. Something on the and so I was, you know, the war in
One more time, you got to practice. Good morning. I could be awake after flying in at 12 o'clock last night. Y'all could be awake too. The joys of air travel.
vacation.
Yeah, the joys of air travel continue. So our flight left on time, or left the gate on time. Then spent 90 minutes sitting on the tarmac in Orlando because you people in Atlanta had to have thunderstorms coming through last night.
Oh my God.
If I'm not in Georgia, it's you people. And so we got to sit for 90 minutes on the tarmac, in Orlando. At one point, I thought we were just driving around the airport. Because we have Wi-Fi. Me, it wasn't too bad because I got from being upgraded to first class. My children were too thrilled because they were in steerage.
Oh.
During that time, I kept getting calls like, "Can you send it right back here to us?" So, and then we get to Atlanta, it's pouring down rain, and they don't have a gate for us, so we're sitting out for 20 minutes on the tarmac in Atlanta, waiting. We get to the gate. The jetway, you know, those things that come out, they're coming out, it breaks halfway to the plane. So another 20 minutes waiting for that to get fixed, they put WD-40 on it or something. And then got onto it. Then get into baggage claim. We're standing there and we're standing there. And this lady with the airport who was helping somebody in wheelchair said, "Were you on the Orlando flight?" They were like, "Yeah." I said, "It's gonna be another 30 minutes." You know, so they hadn't even left the plane yet. So I was telling Sam this earlier, a tip, if you've got Delta Sky Miles, is that if the bag does not make it from within 20 minutes from when the door opens on the plane to baggage claim, you can file late baggage and get 2,500 miles. on there. And I mean, I literally, my daughter and I did it while we were standing there waiting on the backs. And we got to 2,500 miles already. On there. So I come, come back to me for all Scott Mile troll tips. For it. I've gotten about 20,000 miles this year from outside of just flying. From dining, shopping, Starbucks, Instacart, everything that there can be on it. But I'm here.
Like that.
I may keel over in the middle of a team meeting, but that's okay. So we actually doubled up for you guys on breakfast this morning. So we have DK Rentals, and then our new partner, which I'll talk about in a second, Ensign. And am I saying it correctly? Yeah, there you are, back there, you're hiding behind me. Ensign Building Solutions. So first I'm gonna have DK come up and talk just for a second.
Good morning, everybody. So you guys are one of my newest Keller Williams offices, but you have already become one of my favorites because I went last night and looked online on my system to find out how many referrals I've gotten from you for your clients who are looking to rent out their property. And I think I'm up to 9 now, and it's been less than a year. So at least 9 agents from this office have referred their clients to DK Rentals to manage their property. And the biggest reason is because they know that when that client is ready to sell the property, we won't take the listing. I am an agent. I have never bought or sold a piece of property in my life. Wouldn't know how to do what you do if I tried. But legally, they could say, list my property, and I'd say, okay, but no, that would never happen. So know that any client that you refer to us who's not ready to sell yet, they want to wait a year, or they're going to go away for a year for a job or for school, and they're coming back, refer them to us. We'll get their place rented, we'll put them through the full screening, and then we will, then we'll give it back to you when they're ready to sell. So it's all yours. Most of you have heard my spiel before, so I'm just gonna end this with a funny story. You have a famous agent amongst you. They are at the West Cobb office, and I was there about 3 weeks ago. And back in 1993, 92, 93. Mariah Carey went on MTV, back when MTV played music. Do y'all remember that? That was a long time ago. But they had a series called Unplugged, and people would, people would come on and do their hits, but they would do it acoustically. And Mariah Carey, who loved her talent, but not my genre of music, for some reason, this video always stuck with me because she did a cover of Jackson 5's I'll Be There.
I remember.
And remember, yeah, okay. And so when we get to the bridge, she turns to her background singers and she says, Trey Lorenz, sing. And I've always remembered her saying that. 3 weeks ago, I was at Keller Williams West Cobb, and I was early. 2 agents were talking, and one of them was kind of singing around and dancing around, and one of them looked at me and said, "Yeah, he sings with Mariah Carey." And I didn't say anything because it's Atlanta, everybody sings with everybody. But about 5 minutes later, I said something about being a singer. I'm a classically trained, or I'm an opera singer. And he said, "You sing?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Bust out some Olivia Newton-John Magic." So Xanadu's like my favorite movie. I started singing Magic, and he joined in. After the meeting, I waited for him to come out so I could find out who he was, but he went out the other side and went to see a client. The next day he called me and he said, "Hi, this is Trey Lorenz. I met you yesterday at Keller Williams." And I'm like, and I just stopped and I said, "Wait, this is 30 years ago, but are you the Trey Lorenz that sang on Mariah Carey's video for I'll Be There?" He said, "Yeah, that's me." I have remembered that video for 30 years. So he's now a Keller Williams agent. Apparently he's killing it. So you guys attract some really dynamic folks. So $80 a month flat rate. Anything we can do to help the client, we will. I put a copy of our fee schedule in there, or our referral fee schedule, so you can see what we do. Refer a client to us with an empty house. Let us find them a tenant and manage it for a year. We'll give you half a month's rent. But please, I'm begging, email, not text. Texts get lost. Emails I have. Make the introduction via email, and then I've got your name on it. And as soon as we sign that contract with your client and find a tenant, I'm going to be writing a check to your broker to give you half a month's rent.
Not personally to the work, but.
To the brokerage. Normally I'd stay after breakfast or after the whole meeting, but my mom's in the eye of a hurricane, so I've got to go
Get out of here.
get on the phone. Well, I'm not going to Florida, but I'm gonna go. From my mom.
Yeah.
Thank you all, you got.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right,
You're up.
all right. My name is James. I'm with Ensign Building Solutions and, we'll talk a little bit about what we do. We are pretty much a all restoration company. We do all things restoration. We do mold, water, fire restoration. We also are indoor air quality, so we also do radon testing and we install mitigation systems that are specific to the home. We also have a general contracting department as well that does home renovations, and we also build custom luxury homes or custom home building. So we got a little bit of kind of everything. Just to show you some pictures of the things we do in mold remediation, crawl space work, setting up containment, there's the radon system, and some of the custom homes that we've done. So, Tom is gonna be our inspector for this office, and he's supposed to be here pretty soon, but, anything that you guys would need, you can definitely send an email, reach out to him, but I'm also available as well. So that's pretty much what we do as a company, so if there's any questions, just, feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
All right, I will just say, they, Ensign did the renovations or the rebuild for our retail store. Yeah. And they've done a lot of work for my mother-in-law in the past, so good people.
Marianne?
I've worked with them several times as well. Started with them through relocation, requirements a few years back, and they're amazing. They do a really great job.
All right, yes, sir.
I refer all radon issues to them.
Okay. All right, cheers for people. Well, I guess those were some cheers. for Jared. Give me one more. Yeah, I don't want to get his ego too big. One more cheers for Pierce. What's good that happened in the past week? Or if somebody helped you out on? Yes, ma'am.
Kelly and Sorhan and Onward Shelter, Onward,
You were this week.
Australia, and everyone that donated and helped get the word out on our first blood drive yesterday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Did it go well?
It went well. We went over what was expected and
Oh, that's
we ended up collecting 18. Excuse me, and the Red Cross actually didn't expect us to collect more than 14 if we were lucky. So we're very, very excited. Thank you very much. Getting the word out for us.
Fantastic. All right, tell me something good. What's great that's happened to you? Business, personal, your dog, you know.
It was national.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking on another new title. I'm excited
Because
to-
you're already bored with what you're doing.
Yeah, this is more fun though. So I'm going to be the assistant baseball coach to the Sharon Forks Padres. Exciting team. I got help me. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least at 9 and 10, I remember watching a baseball game one time where the ball is like literally coming up and the kid's looking over here, the ball lands right there. You know, they're a little bit more focused than that.
Right.
I don't know. I took my son to the field on Sunday and it was that, which is.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember coaching girls soccer at one time and the ball went by and it was like there were 5 or 6. And Jenna's friend was like picking dandelion.
Yeah.
She didn't play again after that year. Whatsoever.
It's not the kids that are the problem, it's the
It's
parents that you gotta do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. It's not fun enough.
Whatever, we're fine people too.
This is like a big week for me. Saturday of last week, we celebrated the 1-year anniversary of my daughter's surgery on her kidney. And so she has been free and clear of kidney issues for 1 year. We really appreciate all the prayers that we got, especially from this community, for her, all the support there. And yesterday was our 13th wedding anniversary.
All right, well, let's bounce into our Alliance partners. Ashley?
How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Good. Well, Ashley Connor with O'Kelly and Sorahan. And this morning, what I wanted to talk to y'all about is power of attorneys. Okay, I don't know if y'all are seeing this, but we're seeing a lot less people actually attend closing for whatever reason. So mail outs are big, power of attorneys are big. There's a couple of things on power of attorney. The first thing that I want y'all to know is that the document itself is a power of attorney. Anybody know what the human signing is called?
Human signing signature.
Yeah, the person that's authorized to sign per the power of attorney. What is that?
Attorney in fact.
Attorney in fact, correct. So like, you're never gonna be talking to a power of attorney because that's a piece of paper, right? So just kind of the lingo, which we know what you mean.
Yeah.
You might talk to them, but they might not have that, right? So if y'all use that word, we know what you mean, but if we start talking about an attorney in fact, that's the human being that's signing. A lot of times, I think y'all get the request to sign on behalf of your client. Legally, can you do that?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Yes, but should you do that?
No.
Now, you really need approval from your broker to be able to do that, so don't just willy-nilly agree. I think you'll probably get the approval, like you and your spouse are selling the house and they can't come because you're really signing like as the spouse, attorney in fact, not agent. But if it's some client you've never met, someone you don't know, don't ever offer that, and I think, I'll speak for you guys, but feel free to like throw the brokerage under the bus, oh, they don't allow that, so sorry, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's super smart, because what you're doing when you sign on their behalf, you're taking on a bunch of liability. Because if you sign something that they don't approve of, legally, they've given you authority to do that, but that's not gonna stop them from coming back and suing you. So just be really careful on that front. Also know that most of your clients who already have a power of attorney, that's gonna be a general power of attorney. Now, most title insurance companies are gonna require a specific power of attorney. That gets really confusing for your clients. So with a general power of attorney, there's typically some sort of reference to real estate powers, if you will. And it's generally talking about you have the authority to buy or sell any real estate I may own. Legally, that works, but keep in mind, title insurance companies operate from a risk assessment perspective, and to them, it's very risky, because maybe, Johnny had a surgery in 2015, so he's letting his wife Jill, sign a power of attorney just in case anything happens. But now they're thinking of getting divorced, so do we really think Johnny wants Jill to be able to sign for him?
No.
No, not anymore at all, right? People will do these things, they set them up and they forget about it. So it's a big risk for the title insurance company. So if you have a general one, send it to us. We're happy to see if we can get it approved, but we're always gonna ask why you want to use it. And if it's just, they don't feel like signing another one, they don't wanna pay for another one, that's never gonna be a good enough reason for the title insurance company to approve them using that. But if it's something like they no longer have capacity to sign, they have dementia, they're in an assisted living, that kind of thing, there are ways that we can make that work. So don't automatically put an X on a general power of attorney, but do send it to us and do send us the reason that they want to use it so we can try to be persuasive to the title insurance company. Or like military people, sometimes when they're overseas, they're not gonna be able to sign a new power of attorney. So there's what we call extenuating circumstances that allow for that, but it's not every time. And I think they'll get a lot of pushback and a lot of argument on that, so I want to throw that out there. Capacity issues, we've had this come up a couple times. If the issue is, if they say we live in assisted living, we're gonna ask, is there a capacity issue? And it's not that we're trying to be rude, it's not that we're trying to be nosy, it's that we need to know whether that person understands what they're signing, like, are they capable of signing a power of attorney? And are they capable of completing an alive and well phone call? Because y'all know a power of attorney is only valid when the principal is alive. The second that person dies, a power of attorney means nothing, because their estate would own the property, not them individually.
And there have been circumstances I know in your office where somebody has literally done the alive and well.
Yeah, that's happened, and we've had someone who, swore up and down, like, I'll get my wife to sign the new one, we need to talk to her, wouldn't let us talk to her, need to talk to her. He says, it's fine, she's good, he mentioned a car accident, we were like, maybe there's an issue here. He says, no, I promise, we're traveling, we'll get the doctor to sign a letter saying she's good, but we won't have it till the day of closing. I don't love that, but, okay. show up to closing, finally get the doctor on the phone, and what he tells us is that she has significant cognitive impairment. So do we think that she was able to sign that power of attorney and understand? No.
Not a chance.
So we couldn't close. So know that we asked that question just to make sure we're, good to go. Now, that guy didn't have a general power of attorney. So what happens if you have someone who lacks capacity and you don't have a general power of attorney? What can you do?
Or
What?
go to court.
You get a conservatorship or guardianship. So that's definitely a longer process. So just know that's the case. And just about the worst thing to happen is to be in a closing and for the person signing to say, hey, mom has dementia. That's like, hard stop. We need to figure it out. Now, some people, dementia, they're saying, mom gets a little bit confused, but she's lucid most of the time. That's okay. She's been diagnosed, then we're gonna need a doctor's note. So just be careful with that, kind of know what the trigger words are. And I would really encourage you guys to ask the capacity question, or at least, turn the power of attorney over to us, for us to be kind of the bad guy to ask the capacity question early on in the process, so we can get all that sorted, so it's smooth right before and at the closing. If you have a buyer that needs to use a power of attorney, you gotta make sure that that's okay with the lender. So it's a really hard thing for us to do the day before, especially when there's a lender involved. Like, can we draft it same day? Yeah, of course. But your lender's gonna run it through their underwriter, make sure the power of attorney looks good. And we really like to do that before your person signs it. Because if we put together a power of attorney and then we get your person to sign it, and then the lender wants different language added, they're gonna have to sign it again. So giving us a couple days to get that sorted with the lender is better for your client. So just keep that in mind from the seller's perspective, lender doesn't really have control over that. Yeah, Joe.
A couple of years ago, I did a sign for a couple of out of town, to be their power of attorney. You're saying we should not do that, and who are you gonna get to do that then? Somebody else is gonna, the neighbor's gonna come to the court?
That's their
That's
responsibility.
their responsibility to deal with.
Can't
Yeah, so
somebody
the
encourage
attorney-
In this office, you have.
Not the closing.
No, not you guys, but sometimes the attorney will find another attorney that's willing to do it.
Sometimes.
I've
yeah,
had that happen
yeah.
for someone who's from out of state and they literally have no one here.
Yes, so we can, if there are attorneys that will sign as attorney, in fact, not related to the.
Not related to the
law firm,
transaction, yeah.
but we're happy to pass those contacts along. I would encourage your people to find someone they trust before just relying on an attorney. Legally, anyone who's over 18 can sign as attorney in fact. Now, if it's for a buyer, most lenders have higher requirements on who can sign. So I think most lenders are gonna require a family member or an actual attorney. to serve an attorney.
And that's a good point. Whenever you're working with a buyer on a deal, and Shelby, you back there, you have to get approval. You can't just say, oh, we're gonna do it. You have to get approval from the lender to be able to do that. Second, in this office, you have to, like right now, I wouldn't say come to me, but you would have to go to Andy or Aubrey to get permission if there's a scenario to be able to do it. You cannot just carte blanche go sign for somebody. Now, I will say though, I remember years ago, there was a time, it was back in the day of short sales and everything, where Catherine had somebody who was an agent who was selling, and she was gonna sign for herself on both sides of it, and it was a short sale. And it was it was, I don't say late at night, it was 7 in the evening, and I was working here, and she came and got me to sign as attorney back. So, because I wasn't involved in the transaction whatsoever. So you can't
But
can't
was
do
there
that.
paperwork for that for you to sign?
We got it done really fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did it really fast. So,
Extenuating circumstances.
yeah, I mean, Catherine didn't know literally until they walked in the lineup of what it was, and the short sale bank said, no, you can't be the agent and also be the seller.
Right.
So there's different scenarios. So if you ever have, it's one of those things, if it's something pings in your head, going like, I don't know if this is exactly right, come and ask the question, because we don't want to create a legal challenge later on.
Right, and I think part of the issue is that y'all's E&O insurance doesn't cover liability, like if you sign for your client and they sue you, like y'all insurance doesn't step in.
I did not know that.
That's what I've always been told when brokers say we don't like that, that's typically the reason. I can't say I've read your policy, so I don't know, but that's very common.
Neither have I. So.
I'm just gonna run through the events we've got coming up. So on Thursday, September 7th, I'm teaching a class with some of your very esteemed agents. It's a mock closing class, so we'll run through the settlement statement and we'll kind of role play as far as buy or sell.
When is this class?
It's September 10th, 9:30. On Monday, September 7th, we've got coffee talk with Onward. You guys want to join the book club? You know, I'll promote that every time I'm up here. Wednesday, September 13th, we're reading The Resemblance by Lauren Nosset. And if you need a little push to read it, it takes place on UGA's campus for all of you Georgia fans, which is not me, but I'm reading it anyway. Thursday, September 14th, we're super excited for the vendor showcase. I know everyone's been working really hard to put that together, so we are thrilled to be a part of that. Flipping Mojitos is Wednesday, September 20th. That's 6 to 8:30, 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. here at Mojitos in the Forum. Really casual, really fun to just come, say hi, meet new people, grab a drink. Their mojitos are unsurprisingly very good. On Thursday, the 21st, we've got new agent breakfast with Onward, and that's from 10 to 11. So if you've joined the office recently, we would love to come tell you about the 5 kind of biggest things we see from lender perspective and attorney perspective for y'all to look out for. Friday, September 22nd, we've got birthday lunch with Onward. That'll be at 12. That's for all of our August and September babies. And then Monday, September 25th, we've got coffee talk again with Onward from 10 to 11. So I appreciate you guys, and don't forget to put O'Kelly and Sorahan on page 1 of your contracts.
Okay, onward. I feel like I just always yell wagon toe or something like that. I think wagon toe onward. Good morning. Thanks for making me feel so colder than
So good news, rates are hovering at 7.375%. You may be wondering why I'm saying good news. Last week, they pulled up to almost 7.625%. What ended up being released, or information that was released, is Fed Powell. We were all waiting very intently to find out what the chairman was going to say. He came back and was a little bit more positive than we were expecting. His big key point was that everyone wants to see a softening in the job market. So this week is huge for interest rates. We got Wednesday, ADP employment numbers are released. Thursday, jobless claims are released and inflation numbers. And then Friday, the unemployment rate is going to be released. So Barry and Lee, which we talk about a lot, they were talking yesterday on the morning update about what's called a short squeeze. So what's happening and why rates have been pushing up is investors are shorting the 10-year treasury bond, which that affects mortgage interest rates. And if this week we get, jobless claims and unemployment numbers that come out and they're what investors want to see, they have to sell off all of these, shortings that they've done, which is going to cause rates to pull back, hopefully very quickly.
Is the jobs number still coming out Friday, 6th first?
It is the unemployment rate, yeah. So in best case scenario, we get 3 days of, again, we don't want people losing jobs. We don't want unemployment numbers to be high, but for interest rates, it could heavily impact and cause rates to drop pretty quickly. So be on the lookout for that. Last thing, so our goal, and I don't think we talk about this enough, our team goal is 10 million a month. We've been coming up a little bit short of that, around 7 to 7.5. September, we have a legitimate chance of hitting this $10 million mark. So I'm gonna be bold and ask, please, if you guys have clients, give us an opportunity. We'll do everything we can to help you guys win the deal. We love working with you.
Can I say something really quick? My wife came to me a few weeks ago and tasked me with helping my little sister-in-law, her little sister, with buying a house, she and her husband. And of course, she gave instructions as to what needed to be done and how. So, I had them, they were trying to get qualified with Wings Fargo, and I said, you should do good, maybe.
Oh, sorry.
But we need to, I said, I advise that you talk to our lender. So I put him in touch with Matt. We got the pre-approval, we got pretty much everything done for underwriting. We submitted the second offer, when was that, on Saturday, was it Saturday? Right. And it so happened that the agent, different company, happened to know Hunter and Matt. He does work with them, I want to say exclusively, right? Now, the interesting thing about that is he says, that's great. because that kind of puts you ahead of the game right there and then. He was keeping me very informed as to what was happening, multiple offers. He was keeping Matt more informed about that situation, okay, which was fine by me, right? So we got ourselves under contract. We're closing in, what is it, 15 days, right? Just about. Not only that, but, and I'm talking about the rest of the team here, Stephen Min, we went by yesterday, did inspection last night. Tom Barab gave me a quote of the roof replacement this morning, and was already working on it last night. So I just want you to know that if you really want things to happen for your clients, it's right here. You don't need to go anywhere else. Don't reinvent the wheel, you know, so kudos to you guys.
And the most important thing, is your wife happy?
I don't know.
Next week, they can come back and we're very.
If he's not good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we're obviously competing, I think this market is competitive for y'all, but obviously for us too, we're seeing a lot of different lenders that we're going up against. Our pricing, I feel like is getting more competitive by the day, but we're starting to see a lot of lenders who are trying to lure people in with the interest rates and are charging a ton of costs and discount. I think you were gonna cover that.
Yeah, so, I know Matt mentioned he had one this week that was really high, I think it was a builder. So, and it can be builder lenders or not, but we are seeing, again, more heavy competition, but really looking at those estimates. So again, when your client is shopping, you know, that's fine to get it, but really encourage them to get a full cost estimate, not just a rate quote. A rate quote tells them absolutely nothing about what they're really paying for that loan. So, and we're telling people that all the time, when we get someone pre-approved, we're not just giving them a little rate over the phone, we're letting them know, you know, here's what to expect. We want people to be prepared, understand what they're bringing to closing and where that money's going. So we've been seeing some estimates from other lenders come in, and I think Matt had one the other day, it was like 3.5 discount points. So remember, one discount point is 1% of your loan amount. If you've got a $400,000 loan, 1 point's $4,000. So there isn't a this for that as far as how far 1 point buys the rate down, but it's usually probably in the range of a quarter, 3/8-ish, depending on how the rates are priced. So it's not like one discount point equals a 1 point. I get that question a lot, so just so you guys are aware. It's usually gonna buy that rate down maybe a quarter, 3/8 in that range. But right now, rates are high, so we understand why people are wanting to see that lower rate. Other lenders are saying, okay, we'll just slap 3 discount points on there and send it to them so they get a 6.5. Well, yeah.
So you're basically spending $12,000 up front and maybe get 3 orders.
Yeah, here, yeah, come on up now. You're exactly right. So in this scenario, that's what the discount fee was. It was like $12,000 to $13,000. Now, this was a builder, so they were giving them a little money toward cost, but only $4,000. So, you know, you're looking at this and saying, okay, you're buying the rate down. Well, we anticipate all being, not just us, but analysts are forecasting rates are gonna be lower within a couple of years. We're expecting a little mini refi boom, so to speak, to come. So we're not expecting anyone closing now to be carrying whatever rate they get for the long term. So when you're buying a rate down and spending $12,000, that's money you're never getting back. You're not gonna realize the benefit of that over having your mortgage for many, many years. So we're really educating our clients on that. So just be aware, maybe know that in the back of your head too, and really encourage them, hey, look at the cost. How much are you paying? You know, the rate, I don't wanna say don't pay attention to it, but it really is not the most important thing right now, especially considering the environment we're in, what we're expecting to happen. Don't pay a bunch of money that you're basically wasting to save a few bucks on your mortgage payment over the next couple of years, because you will never recoup that amount. Yeah.
Except for that you can get the seller to pay the check and buy down.
So
because
if
you
you
get that
can
money
get
back.
them to buy it down, or like we've talked about the Borrow Smart that's got $3,000, absolutely apply that. Any credits you're getting, if you wanna lower that rate, apply it. But again, even if the seller's paying $10,000, you know, look at your other costs. You know, at the end of the day, unless you need the lower rate to qualify, that's really the main time we're looking at it saying, hey, at 7.375, our DTI is just over 50. We've got to buy that rate down and get you into the range where we can approve you. That's a different scenario. That's a necessity. That's not a, you know, but yeah, you're right. If you can get the seller to cover that,
Well, and then if the rates do go down, you do get reimbursed for that amount of money too.
Exactly.
So that can go towards
Exactly.
refi as well.
Yes.
Does Hunter get to talk today?
Another topic. All right, any other questions on that?
So you could explain to them even in the first year, if rates go down and they refinance, I mean, that's another $1,000 that basically if they hung on to that $12,000, this is $1,000 more that their payments will be each month. Affordably, and then refinance.
I think having that cushion, you know, yeah, you're paying a little more per month, but, you know, I always do the math, and I'm pretty sure you guys do too. If you're looking at it paying 12 grand and say, okay, if you don't pay the 12 grand, your payment's here, if you pay the 12 grand, it's here. What's the difference? Is it $100 a month? I'm dividing that 12,000 upfront cost by the monthly savings. That gives you, hey, you know, you need, in this scenario, I don't know, 100 months to break even.
Yeah, right.
You know, is it real, how many years do you have to have this loan to make that worth it? And right now, that's just not gonna be worth it.
I was just real quick gonna say, I've seen it like at closing up to 20 and 30,000 that people have paid, and the chance of that being the right decision is low. So I think there's some sneaky lenders out there.
You got an extra $20,000 or $30,000 to put on your credit card, not to buy on the interest rate, you're gonna save
Yeah.
money over time
Yeah.
anyway.
Or putting down your house, you know,
Yeah.
just, anything,
Um,
anything for that.
with all that being said, one thing we just ask, especially in this market, it is still super competitive, low inventory, every single offer my clients are working in, for the most part, is multiple offers. So we're obviously calling the listing agent, which a lot of listings are so shocked that lenders do that. I don't think a lot of other people do that. So if we get the opportunity to talk to them a week before you guys go shopping for the house, we will have the loan fully underwritten. We can close in 10 days, we can waive contingencies and make it very competitive. That's how we're winning a ton of deals. Not a lot of lenders can close as quick as we can, so whenever they see that onward on the pre-approval and then it's fully underwritten and hear from us, I think it gives you guys another leg up on your offer. And then as Enrique said, you guys are our main focus in this office, but we do have a large network of agents. So we work with agents all over the state where they're in Atlanta Fine Homes or Ansley or whatever the case may be. So if we work with one of them and they know us, we have a reputation with them. If you're putting in an offer on their listing, that's going to give you another leg up. We work with them. So we just ask for the opportunity to help your clients, you know, in any way we can. And then with multiple lenders, like Matt said, we most of the time can beat anybody on any of their quotes. So we always just ask the client for the last shot. If you guys are talking to them and they're shopping around, all we ask for is the last shot, because we do a very good job of matching or beating any cost or fees anybody else is able to provide. So we appreciate you guys and hopefully we'll get some good business to that 10 million this month. So.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
Kelly, we have her in the house today.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Kelly Lucinda with 210 Home Buyers Warranty, your home warranty partner and resource. So just wanted to share a little story with you. I had a very, very excited agent that called me less than 2 weeks ago. And she was like, Kelly, you'll never forget. You'll never guess what just happened. So she was representing one of her buyers. The seller would not pay for a home warranty. But with everything older in the house, especially all the appliances, she did sit down with her, she went over the warranty with her, and she declined it. She had her sign a waiver, which we do have a waiver. This is strictly for you guys. It's a risk management tool. So if they do decline, have them waive that or have them sign it. Because if they're calling you a couple of days, weeks, months after that closing, even up to a year, asking her, well, what are you going to do about this? I had no idea that the fridge was going to fail. Now I have to replace it. She was basically asking the agent to take money out of the commission to pay for that refrigerator. But because she had this signed, that's what protected her. You have no idea how many calls I am getting, especially the past 2 years of buyer's remorse. I'm having agents call me 2 weeks after closing, 3 weeks, even a month after closing saying, Kelly, can we get a warranty? And when I'm further digging, why, is because there is a big failure, especially with refrigerators or HVAC. The answer is yes, you can still get a home warranty, but unfortunately, there's a pre-existing issue now, so that's not gonna be eligible for coverage. And then the agents get back mad at me saying, this is gonna have to come out of my pocket now because I never presented it. So this is why we have this tool, especially for you guys. So I want you guys to know, I've had agents that tell me all the time, Kelly, I represent buyers and sellers. I sell homes. I do not sell in warranty. I totally get that. That's why I am your partner here in the office. I love to talk to your clients. I think it's so important that your clients know who I am. They know I'm their local rep. They have my local cell. I tell them about the warranty, the process, the coverage, the expectations. But I also give them that peace of mind knowing that I'm your partner, that they can call me after closing. If they ever need guidance, if they need questions, or even need to get me involved in things, because I'm here to make you guys look good, because I want to continue to grow together. So if you guys haven't used 210 Home Buyers Warranty, have ever worked with me, I would love that opportunity to be your partner. Warranty or no home warranty, also use me as that resource. I actually had a call from one of my agents last week saying, hey, I didn't have a home warranty. I just got quoted $14,500 to replace my system. I've heard $19,000. These guys, they're expensive. I had my guy out there the very next day and he replaced it for $6,000. So use me as that resource. If you need contractors, I will help you out.
And I know that guy now. So.
Yeah.
I would like to give a shout out because I had, a situation with one of my rental properties and it did not go well with the first contractor that was sent out. I told Kelly. Kelly got involved in it and I'm just gonna tell you, she handled it. It was all taken care of and she took it completely off my plate, took it to levels that it needed to be taken to, and I can tell you that when she says she's your partner, she is your partner. So thank you.
We're running, an offer this morning and we're putting in there, which you tend to be on the contract part of the deal. So, you know, do take advantage of it. It's like what Enrique said. We've got an amazing group, you know, Kelly, Todd, everyone that they're here to help you. You know, think of remember the old Verizon ad when people stood behind the, you know, the speaker or whatever? Think of it that way. You've got this whole support team that sits behind. You know, to help out.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Everybody.
Good morning.
I'm sure if y'all watched the news and saw the hurricane coming out.
The little rain shower.
Little rain
What is the last night's shower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But someone called me this morning, they had a property in South Georgia that they wanted to get an insurance quote on. Yeah. You know, not sure if people are aware of it, but insurance companies put moratoriums on new business as, you know, big storms are coming up. So, you know, if you got something that you want more insurance on, call before the hurricane gets named. And
I'm just gonna give Andrew a quick shout out. So I've referred several people to him on the insurance side and for what we do, speed is very important. He gets quotes back to clients back as quickly, so.
I'd like to do a shout out for Matt. I just thought for his whole house.
Why don't you go out and get a beer?
Did a great job on the loan.
Yeah. I've been saying that he got me on new insurance and sadly had to file a claim as someone wrecked my jet ski. But placed him in Travelers and from the time I called them, they paid me in 36 hours.
I just want to get a free beer.
Jen.
Todd, you have a PSA announcement?
Quick announcement, going out of the country from the 5th through the 14th.
You are coming back.
I'm coming back, maybe. Going to Israel and while I'm out, please call my partner David Cervasio. Does anybody want to write the number down right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And put it on your voicemail.
Yeah, we put it on our voicemail.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a good idea. Put it right up there.
Yeah.
So David, his name, Cervasio, Cervasio. Cervasio, and his phone number is 404-822-1109.
Okay, and that's the 5th to the 14th.
And that's my partner, he can handle anything that I want written in news. But he answers his phone just as much as I can.
Okay, awesome. Okay,
Thank you.
now it's your turn.
Have a great trip.
We're gonna do technology.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Oh, there's the wise down below.
Down there.
Oh.
I know, well, forgive me.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So, speaking of the storm, I just want to first say thank you for those that make contributions to KW Cares. I've had a lot of conversations with people that live in the Gulf right now, and they're like, without that, we'd be in some deep stuff. I actually coached somebody in Fort Myers, but like, yeah, having like PTSD through all this. So, I just want to remind you of like, I know KW Cares is one of those things that we have in abundance at Keller Williams. If you contribute, thank you. And if you haven't, please consider it.
And I will say, I'm gonna throw this in here as a PSA, is if you guys don't know, when you do your entry submission into command and everything, you can put it in there. You can make it recurring, whatever it is. There's one for going into international, which is the fund that we're talking about. We're really lucky in Atlanta, we don't have any natural disaster things that we have to pull off of. We also have one in the office, so that is a KW Care funds in the office. I know there's about $200 in there right now. That's to help when somebody in our family is hurting or needs help or something of that sort. So either one of that, I don't, and you may think otherwise, I don't care which one it is. But, you know, it's just, $10 a closing, something of that sort, so we can build those funds up. It really makes a difference. There have been people in this office over my time here who have benefited from KW Cares.
It just allows it that quickly, right? Like things like this happen, and there's no red tape. Cool, so how do you put it for that? Command. Yeah, there you go. One disaster to another, that's made a rebound.
Get a rebound, right? Very long way.
And with that, I want to share, there was actually an update to a tool that I don't think was broken, but we got a really good facelift to, which is campaigns. So right before Mega Camp, because they love to give me a heart attack, we launched a whole new advertising aspect inside of campaigns. And I'm gonna walk you through this. I'm gonna give you just a really quick brief overview, because honestly, there's not enough time in the day to go through each of these. Now,
You can always have a class like we.
yeah, we can, absolutely, absolutely. But I just wanted you to like, see this so that you can go explore. It's actually even easier than it was in the past version. But if I go into create a campaign and go into paid ad, just like we typically did for Facebook ads, you're gonna see that this thing got a super duper facelift. And notice that doesn't look like command, but the cool thing is it took all the thinking out of this now. So we have some AI-based advertising, which means I have to think less, which is always the ideal thing here. But we have now very like quick ads inside of command that says that if I want to run an ad for a listing specifically and target Facebook and Instagram, I can click on this card, it's gonna just create the ad for me quickly. All you can do is kind of determine like what area you want to target, and the ads generated by AI, you can tweak it if you want to, if you want to like override the bot. But it's really, really easy. You don't have to think through these anymore. You can run a Facebook ad in like a matter of seconds, which is really neat.
And also it makes it kind of really cool, your own way of saying, I use AI.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's for building points.
My goodness, it is here to take over. But one of the things I just want to point out, just because you may not realize these on your own, and again, we'll teach classes. I have a video that I'm still trying to edit. You notice that there's some blue like bubbles here and then some yellow bubbles there. That means that if it's blue, there is a lead gen form attached to it, meaning that like through Facebook and Instagram, they capture the lead for you. They don't like, nobody needs to like fill out anything on your website or anything like that. There is a capture element to that. If it's yellow, it's gonna be up to your website or a landing page that you have to create. Okay?
What's the one, the dynamic ad?
The dynamic ads for real estate, so this would be.
This also has the bubble.
Yeah, that one is brand new, that one, I don't know.
I'm glad you educated.
Yeah. So, I'll play around with that one, that one,
know.
I have no idea, monthly recurring subscription. I'll find out. So apparently they're still adding to this, which is always exciting. But a couple of key things I want to point out. There are two different Google advertisements we can do now. So you can see that there's a Google G and there's a Google A. These are actually, in my mind, they're backwards. But that's just the way my mind works. These Google G ones right here, if you can see my mouse, the ones that say attract sales, attract buyers. These are going to show up as what we call Google AdWords, they're gonna be the ones that show up as like the top result that's sponsored, that like people don't really realize that that's a sponsored link. If you run a campaign that way, it's gonna show up as the natural result. They did change this though, that if you were to run a Google ad, there is a minimum that you spend at least $250 to run it for a Google. You can do more, but if you're gonna run a Google ad, just expect that like you're gonna get charged for $250. Now, that seems like a shock. I've been in marketing and real estate for a very long time. That's probably like where I would get started. If I'm gonna run a campaign in Google, I would expect to spend about $250 a month, $250 a month, and run that for at least 3 months before you give up on it. Okay. So that some best practices aren't gonna tie in here. The other Google A that you will see, this is what we do for like a display ad. So it's an actual like picture that will show up that if somebody searches like realtors in North Atlanta or one of our suburbs, it's gonna show up as like your picture and some information as like a pop-up ad on the side, if you will. What else I want to touch here? The other thing, like just advice, and again, we're gonna teach on this. I don't think it makes sense to spend your money doing Facebook, Instagram, and Google all in the same ad. I'm kind of staying away from these that do multi-platform at the moment. Facebook and Instagram is fine. Google on itself is fine. I wouldn't be spending money in 3 different places because these are 3 different strategies. And I think you can go broke if you don't know what you're doing here. So I would say with those from now. But if you already don't want to do like a listing ad right now, just by like Facebook and Instagram, I click on it. And just like before, it's gonna have me like connect my Facebook page, which I don't think I did here. Right. But it's gonna have me like pick up a listing, so it's a little bit easier to just come in here and take like any listing that's mine. You can type in the address. I don't have a listing, so I'm just gonna check the bubble here. But you'll see that it's gonna go ahead and create the ad for you in a matter of seconds. If I just do it for this Sawgrass one. You'll just create the ad just like that. Now, you can come here and edit if you needed to. But pretty much like in seconds, you're gonna have AI run it. It's gonna go ahead and pull all the information. Again, best practices. I don't typically like to add the address or the price point in my ads. I call that spilling the candy in the lobby. I want to make sure that like I'm not giving away too much information, right? Those are the things that like people will click on your ad to go find out of like, hey, if I like that picture, what's it worth, where's it at? So I would be putting that in your ad. So I'd be tweaking that from an ad perspective, but all in all, it takes seconds to run through this. You can run an ad in like 32 minutes. Wow. So yeah, cool stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Enrique. I'll be quick, I promise, Mary.
Actually, my slide looks like. But it's still there.
Just put all the words together.
Is that AI? Good morning, China. Quick and sweet, so we can move on with the awards, right? Thank you. So, stand over here, the lead generation puzzle. What do we do? I mean, what do we do as real estate? You join real estate, you got your license, you join Keller Williams, and you ask, what do I do next, right? And which direction, do I go marketing, do I go social media, do I go, and the answer is always gonna be, let's come back on, let's talk to those people first, and then we can enhance with everything else that's available, right? So, quickly, the lead generation puzzle, a truth. Lead generation requires both prospecting and marketing, right? The question is, how do we do it? Prospecting is seeking leads, right? You're picking up that phone and you're finding those people, the people you know, your met or you have not met, and your marketing attracts leads to you, right? Next slide. But the emphasis needs to be on prospecting, because how much does that cost you? Especially when you're starting in real estate, right? Because you can go broke if you know what you're doing with advertising, right? So figure out where you are, figure out what your database is able to provide to you, and what's the trick with the database? First you have it, clean it up, you have it, and you feed it. And you keep adding to it, and eventually, that's where the business is gonna come, right? Next slide, if you don't mind. Prospecting reinforces marketing, not the other way around. Marketing supports prospecting. But first and foremost, and this is, they've interviewed a lot of the top agents that we have at Keller Williams, and they say, well, what's your 20%? Where do you spend your time? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is gonna be prospecting. That's what it is, that's where the magic happens. Next slide. Now, take a picture of this and create some sort of a form, or you can just wanna write it down, or you can do it Excel, whatever. If you're gonna spend anything in advertising, I want you to keep track of it. But I also want you to keep track of what you're prospecting, what are you spending in prospecting? Take a look at that. What is it that you're spending?
Time.
Time. What are you spending in marketing? Money, right? So keep an eye on both and track the results. And last slide, I think it is, myth, prospecting and cold calling equals rejection. Truth, prospecting equals meeting people and building purposeful business relationships, which equal a strong real estate business. I think there's one more, right? Yeah. Myth, or actually 2 more. Myth 2, prospecting means contacting people you don't know. The truth is prospecting means contacting people you know as well as people you don't know. Next slide. Myth 3, prospecting is when you go to launch your business, only new agents have to prospect. Truth, prospecting is when you keep your real estate business running and growing, you should never stop prospecting.
I always look at marketing as your added on benefit because it's reactive versus prospecting. And you did all that. Prospecting is your core, you're going out, basically putting your face in front of people and doing that. Reactive is sort of the luxury element when you get to be known, where your brand's out there and your reputation's out there, that the marketing comes back to.
So marketing is you investing back in your business.
Right, right. But it's gonna never be the majority of your funds or anything. I would rather spend much more money on, let's say, networking events and things of that nature. Spend dollars on it for a ticket entrance or whatever you want to call it, to be able to talk to people, than just on the whim and the hope that someone's gonna call you.
Exactly.
Especially when you're newer.
So play that by ear, definitely look into advertising, look into the different things that could enhance your prospecting, but definitely play it by ear.
I was just gonna add too, that, Gary Keller, he mentions he still prospects every day. It's just that there gets to a point you're no longer prospecting for your next listing, you're prospecting for talent and new businesses. So right now, Gary Keller's prospecting for new businesses.
Yeah, and it depends where you're at, all the time. And the thing is like, Reed Casey, I mean, and I've sort of gotten to be the way he is, it's become so ingrained in your system that you almost get to the point where you're doing it, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, I've used his name several times, so I don't, well, I don't go back, I don't want to do that, because it doesn't work. I have to focus Casey and.
Yeah, yeah. Now Brian Smith over in Norfolk, he's a little bit different. He still is on the phone calling. But that's just the differential, and they're both extremely successful agents.
John Claude is amazing at door knocking.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. Whatever your strength is.
Reed also sends a lot of mail.
He does. We talked about that.
But, and we always say that.
About it, right?
Pardon?
He's very strategic about it.
He is, but he does do it a lot, but it's been very, very good. But we always say, like, what you buy from us, it augments the other things that you do. It's not like that.
Yeah, and it's not meant to play what you guys do.
Yeah.
That's a great word to say, is augments, like it allows for those, I don't want to say easier, because you still have to work on it to get it when it comes in. But instead of you pushing the boat forward, it's more it rolling into you. Is what it is. At the end of the day, you've got to show up and do the work to be able to get
If
it.
you work to get a listing in a neighborhood, and then you augment your opportunities by.
Exactly, right.
Like the neighborhood.
Exactly. If you're new to real estate, start prospecting. if you're already in real estate and you don't do it regularly, start prospecting. I don't think
The biggest word is regularly.
exactly.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so, last week we talked about this, and we're gonna keep talking about this until I get all of you people to sign up. So, we are having Bold coming up on Wednesday, October 11th. There are scholarships available, through our lovely vendors and alliance partners and such as that. So do not say that you can't afford to go. We're gonna make a way for it to happen for you to go. Our goal is to have 140 people from the 3 market centers, at First Step. Come to First Step. How many people in here have taken Bold? Okay, you're doing it again. So say, when you write down all those names, and just raise your hand. No, it truly is worth it. I mean, and there's other business to be had. You can get referrals from other market centers. I see a lot of times on Georgia Legacy Group where there's people at North Fulton or Roswell that don't want to do something over in Loganville. It's too far for them to do things of that nature. So those are those opportunities to build the relationships, that are there. Coming up in a couple weeks, we're gonna actually have the Bold Coach, here. We're gonna do a Bold Day. We're gonna create some incentives for you, such as that. Tyler, who's the Bold Coach this one? David Jones, who was my second or third Bold Coach. And the line, and this is a long time ago, but the line that always stuck in my head, he says, if you don't get a piece of business, just say next. There's another one coming. It's just to keep going down the road and it'll eventually, it will happen. To do that. He's a little bit, for those of you who took it with Scott Toombs, David is as good as what Scott is, but a little bit more of a deep personality is the best way to describe it. Especially after the 8:30 call I was on with him this morning. He woke me up, during that call. So who can we get to sign up today?
I'll pass this out again, just like last week. We'll
Yes.
keep passing it out each week until we get, all the seats filled, because they are gonna fill.
Yeah, they are gonna fill a lot. There is gonna be a limit to what can be done. I think at this point, we're between the 3 market centers, we're around 40, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and if your business isn't looking like it did last year, and you want to pep in your step and strategies in order to get more business and reach your goals, then Bold is the answer. Bold is the answer. If you do the activities that are presented during Bold, you are guaranteed to get more business. So if you're struggling or if you don't see you hitting your goals this year, sign up and see what can happen.
I mean, and I know I'm gonna repeat this every week until everyone you sign up for this, is that I am the living example of going through Bold. I'm one of those that have to absorb it over time, but from the first time I've taken Bold to in 2011 to now, my business has gone up 550%.
And Bold's changed a lot since.
Yeah, we're in 2.0 now.
So if you took it from another coach, it might be a little different this time. You might pick up new nuggets that inspire you to pick up the phone or to do prospecting activities that they talk about during Bold.
This is all new material, this October one. It's like 2.5.
Is it 2.5?
Right?
Yeah,
So
because
if you took it last year, take it again this year.
Yeah.
I always get something new each time, because, we all know I'm a little rebellious in some things. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, it's like watching.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun and wonderful, and I got 2 pieces of business.
Yeah, I always say it's like Star Wars, watching Star Wars or Harry Potter or something like that. You watch it multiple times.
Yes.
And, well, this year's good example was Barbie, but, is you get something out of it with different instructors.
Yes, absolutely.
The first step is on the 11th, then it's 2 weeks later, isn't it?
Yes.
That's correct. And it's gonna be at that Holiday Inn on Fulton Bridge Road, so it's not driving all the way out to Forsyth County Conference Center. So is where it's gonna be at.
It's 12 minutes.
I'm so glad y'all are signing up. Thank you. So, on to our next.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a word next, if that's okay.
I'm gonna get out of the way.
Okay, fantastic. We have an amazing month in July. And we want to celebrate all of our amazing agents. A grand slam is 1 listing, 1 contract, and 1 closed in 1 month. It's not a home run, because we've got all the bases loaded, so we got a grand slam for Amy Hughes, Angelica, Arthur, Carlos, Cindy Wynn, Dallas, David McFeature, John and James Carswell, the KSA team, Laura Smith, Lori Rogers, Lilibeth, Liz Chung, Louise, Michelle, Maddie, Michelle, Mona, Roland, Teresa, Terry, Tony, and Leslie. I do not, I'm gonna do that.
$50 possibility with our best market.
I'm so excited. We had so many people get illicit contacts with Club. All right, $1 million club. You sold $1 million in real estate in 1 month. You got to join the $1 million club.
That's a lot more names than usual.
It is.
That's nice to see.
So we've got Mona, Little Beth, Terry Ehrlich, Ellen Lowe, Ivan, Liz Chung, Liz Barnett, Matt Mead, Cheryl Martin, Carla, Alice Wynn, Susie, Teresa, Jan, Cindy, Sandy, McEachin Real Estate Group, the Kim Sutton team, the Rios Delgado Real Estate.
That's why Michelle showed up today, see her name.
For all of you, I'm not gonna hand them out right now just to save time, but I just wanna make sure that they call you out. So In Touch Realty Group, the Peters team, the Caros team, Sweet Home Atlanta, Family Homes Georgia, Dallas Estate team, Smith and Company, and the People's Agent. All folded. Top listing agents, we got Melissa Mitchell, Liz Chung, and Carlos Geraldo.
Some new names up there.
Yes, and top listing team, we've got the McEachin Real Estate Group, the Ken Sutton team, and In Touch Real Estate.
Who's in touch? Amy. Who's in Amy?
No. Oh, family. Georgia.
That's
Diana, I think it's Diana.
Diana Manrique.
Diana who?
Oh, it's Diana.
Manrique Osorio.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you.
Yes.
She went to have a proper. We have Family Homes Georgia, which is Amy, Nancy Minor team and Dallas Estate. Lilibeth Maroon, Terry Ehrlich, and Sandy. You have the KSA team, the Teacher Real Estate Group, and the Stormont team. And then top written group, we have the Peters team, Dallas Estate team, and the Cares. So closed volume agents, we have Mona, Lilibeth, and Terry. And then closed volume, we have the Teacher Real Estate team, group, the KSA team, and the Rio Delta Island Real Estate Group. And then for closed volume, we have the Peters team, the Cares team, and Sweet Home Atlanta. You first, so we have first listing, we have Maria Alvarado and Melissa Mitchell for the first listing. Close their first closing with Keller Williams Chat North. We have Elizabeth, Diago, Fran, Sylvia, and
Sylvia's back here.
And you can go through all of the individual words without. So we've got closed unit, Lilibeth, closed volume, Mona, listing unit, Liz Chung, listing volume, Melissa Mitchell, written unit, tied, Liz Chung with Lilibeth Maroon, written volume, Lilibeth, and GCI, Lou. We all know who they are. We've got the McEachin Real Estate Crew, for units and volume, and then listing unit tied with In Touch Real Estate, listing volume, McEachin. Written units, the Tamura team, written volume, the KSA team, and GCI, they pulled it out with McEachin Real Estate Crew. We have closed units at 11 with the Peters team, closed volume, the Peters team, listing units, the Family Homes Georgia.
That's Amy Fuchs.
And that's Amy Fuchs.
And the street.
And Listing volume, same, family home storage team, and then written units back to the Peters team, written volume, the Peters team, and GCI with the Peters team.
Keep going, sorry, I didn't interrupt.
So what we've got to wrap up is classes. You wanna say anything before I start with classes?
No, I have one more thing to teach real fast.
Oh, you wanna go for that?
Yes. I'm gonna do it really fast.
Go.
While I'm doing that, why don't you hand out the difference, the certificates that are here, okay? So a number of years ago, there was somebody, I'm gonna do this really fast in 5 minutes, this could be tight. There was a lady who I brought here, and unfortunately she's passed away. She's what I always call my aura lady. And how many of y'all have heard of laws of the universe of affirmation such as that? Okay. I'm telling you, I know it's all metaphysical, mumbo jumbo and everything, but there's something to be said for it. You heard me talk about a few minutes ago about Bold and how my business has grown from that point. In 2011, for me, a few things happened. Number one that helped is that the market started coming back, that obviously helped. Number two is that I started taking Bold. Number three, I got into coaching. And number four, I started journaling every day. And some of you all have heard me talk about this. This is, and I pulled these out of the closet today. These are only 4, and there's a 5th one that's from a Harry Potter journal that I got in the Harry Potter store. But these are only 4 or 5 of the over 40 journals that I've written in over the past 12 years. The reality, and what I write in there, it doesn't say, I wish I had a great real estate business, or something of that sort. Or I wish that I get a new car or something. What you do is, and this is why I asked for y'all to bring pen and paper today to take down some of these, is I say things such as, I have this occur, or this is what happened, or something like that. So I will say, I'm gonna say this in real estate for you guys. One of the things I write every day is, we magnetize qualified, decisive clients who are ready to do business with us now. I just put it out there. And I put in there such things as, hey, for me living Inspire, I get listings Inspire to do that. I'm going on a listing appointment there tonight, for something. And then I'll collapse. After that point. Or it could be something personal. You can say like, when I just came off this cruise. I said for the previous month, the cruise went well, and I don't kill one of my children. So it can be both personal and that. I can remember one time that I kept writing, I wanted to buy a new car one year, and for some reason I wanted it to be red. And I literally wrote, I bought a new red car this year. And Michelle can verify this. I had a red sedan for 5 years that I bought that year. So while it may all sound mumbo jumbo to you, and I fully appreciate that, I'm telling you people, it works. I usually journal 4 to 6 times a week. I'm very consistent about it. Once again, you hear that word consistent coming about. But here's some of the other lines I use. One of them I say is, I'm a magnet for success. It's very simple. It's very very straightforward. When we talk about in ALC, we'll talk about what our big why is, and I always have a challenge in saying that. But one of mine is, Michelle's like, I want to go to every Grand Prix race on the planet, or something of that sort is her big why. Mine is, I just want to live in peace and serenity. I come from many years ago a background that was very tumultuous, very chaotic. For me, having peace and serenity is a very important thing. Another thing I write is, I live a long and prosperous life. Things of that nature. And I repeat it. I know it's very boring, it's very monotonous. So I have basically 3 different areas I go at. Number 1 is business, and I'm happy to sit down with anyone who's willing to listen on the different lines that I use for business. That's more of a long-term thing. I use for personal, this trip went well, this trip goes well. I'll throw a fantasy one out there. Auburn wins the national football championship. Or won national football championship this year. Something of that nature. And then maybe something that's even more short term that, is like, I'm going to New York in a few weeks. The trip to New York went great. But the thing is, if you heard me say it while this, none of it's in present tense. It's not like I am this. is it went well. I bought this, I got that. Everything is in past tense, it's already happened. Okay, that's one major point. The other thing is you don't say, I wish I could get such and such, or I want such and such. It's, once again, it's said in past tense as it's something that's already occurred. You're putting it out, putting it out there. And like I said, it can be a long-term, it can be business, it can be midterm, it can be personal. If you want, a new spouse, yeah, sure, put it in there. But if you want, if you want to start dating again, if you're single, say, I need somebody who's, kind and loving, and who is a great partner, something of that sort. And to be honest with you, that's how I've landed where I'm at right now. I'm coming into my new decade, I'm not gonna say which one, in a much different place than the past decade I came into, and a lot of it's due to these books. To do that. Okay, I'm done because I actually have work to do like you guys do. So go for it.
I just want a reminder that K-Score has moved to Wednesday. Because I am one of those parents at the softball field making the fun. So it will be on Wednesday nights at 5:30. So if you know anyone that's interested in getting their real estate license, send me their information. I'll send them all of this info to get set up and have that call with them on Wednesdays at 5:30. So Wednesday, we'll start off with increasing your network with Karen. Sorry. No problem, I just left my clicker. With Karen Amadon, and then we have our bilingual session with Lacey, and then I work again for on Wednesday evening. We have tech appointments with Tyler. You can schedule them through the link that goes out on our weekly newsletter. We have a CE opportunity, so we need 3 hours of continuing education. We've got video inspections with house call. And then, of course, the KW experience with Sam. James Carswell is teaching for our ALC this month with wealth building through real estate. And then on Friday, the dose, which we go over the market this week, what's going on and what you're seeing in the market and how you're having conversations with your clients about that. The vendor showcase is coming up on September 14th. And just a reminder, that is one of our fundraisers for KW Cares in our office. We are raising money that day for our KW Cares, our agents here. As well as bringing amazing vendors to you so that you can build your vendor list. We have Understanding Values in the Crazy Market coming up on September 27th with Onward and DS Murphy. Career Vision, Temple Teen Rivers and Quantum League as well in October. And then we need to wrap it up with art. Art, I'm sorry that I'm not the best at Zoom.
You are fine. How you doing?
The voice.
It's the voice. Well, nonetheless, good morning, beautiful people of Chattanooga. So you can't see how beautiful I am, but that's fine. That's fine. I don't take it personal. But it's another great day. It's another wonderful, beautiful day to be alive, isn't it? Big shout out to all the award winners. You guys rock, are totally an inspiration. And as a great man always said, it matters who you're in business with. Okay, we know who that is. But Dave, just wanted to thank you just for sharing about positive words and affirmations. It's definitely a fantastic way to start your day. There's that book called The Secret. Something else, another video came out after that says the feeling is the secret. So when you speak past tense, like I have, I received, whatever, like you said, is putting yourself in that vibration in order for what you desire to actually be linked to you. So that's actually fantastic. And it's interesting too, because my positive words today was speak positive words into your life every day. Who's that guy right there? Okay, speak positive words into your life every single morning. Think big, think healing, think success, think peace, think happiness, think growth mindset. Always start the day with positive energy because you deserve it. Let's think big, aim high, and act bold. Peace and love. Chattanooga, we're out.
Anything that you're so good to for you, let us know. Have a good one.
I'll figure that out, Art. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
know, it's like.
Right.